Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. We got some trade rumors and a little bit of free agency buzz to get into in just a moment. But first, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to Bears Now on Callin. If you go to the link below, chatsports.com/BearsCallin, you will be able to join us weekly. You can also download the Callin app on iOS and Android. Links to those download links are in the comments and description of this video. All right, could the Bears trade for a wide receiver? Bleacher Report listed Darius Slayton, N'Keal Harry, and Jalen Reagor as three receivers Chicago could trade for. Now, Slayton has been up and down, but he's shown the most promise. N'Keal Harry, Jalen Reagor, they've both mostly been disappointing, especially in Harry's case because he's had 3 years and hasn't done much. Reagor's been pretty bad, to be honest, through 2 seasons. But with these 3 guys, maybe the Bears could buy low on a talented player and hope to get the most out of that player. I'll say this. I'm most intrigued by Darius Slayton because he has been productive at times in the National Football League. You look at his first 2 years with the Giants in 2019 and 20, his rookie year as a 5th-round pick in 19, great season. 48 catches, 740, and 8 touchdowns. That was better than Darnell Moody's rookie year. Then his second year, pretty good as well. 50 for 751. Not as many touchdowns, but still had 3 there. 11 touchdowns and 1,500 yards through 2 seasons for a 5th-round pick. Pretty good work. And then last year, the production wanes. You know, you got to factor in the coaching was falling apart. Daniel Jones got injured. Still managed 339 yards and a couple of touchdowns, but those first 2 years were very promising for Darius Slayton. I remember thinking, this kid's going to be a star. He's going to be a beast. I don't know if he's that, but could he be like a number 3 receiver type? I think that's still very much a possibility for Darius Slayton. I think he still has shown plenty to say that he's worthy of getting snaps for a team in the National Football League. And if the Giants are going to move on from him, maybe you could trade low, 6th, 7th-round pick and bring him on board. Now, pick a receiver out of these 3 guys. We'll talk a little bit about Harry and Reagor in a second. Type DS for Darius Slayton. That's who I would choose. Type NH for N'Keal Harry, or type JR for Jalen Reagor. Pin comment on today's video, so if you had to pick one of these receivers to trade for, let me know who it would be. We've talked about Jalen Reagor a couple of times before, and I still think there's ability in there because I watched it for 3 years in college at my alma mater at TCU. Obviously, he's been very inconsistent with the Eagles. I think he's gotten let the pressure get to him with that passionate fan base up there. Obviously, it has not turned out very well so far for him, but I still think he's capable. N'Keal Harry, 3 seasons, less than 600 total yards. I don't know. He has not shown much at all, especially in a receiving core in New England that hasn't had good receivers in recent years. It's not like he hasn't had opportunities. He just hasn't proven he can be that guy. Now, when you think about all these guys, you think, okay, where would they fit in? Where would they plug in? I think Darius Slayton could potentially, plug in right before Equanimeous St. Brown. I think he could be wide receiver 4, maybe even 3 with Velus Jones more as like a, gadget guy that does a little bit of everything. Honestly, he's had 2 bigger years than Byron Pringle's ever had. I think Pringle's going to take another step because he'll have more opportunities here, but Slayton has shown a lot. Reagor and Harry, they'd have to compete for a roster spot. So maybe when you're thinking especially about those 2 guys, well, wait and see if any of these guys get cut and then put a claim out for them or go sign them if they clear waivers. That could be the approach if you are Ryan Poles because obviously he's a guy who doesn't want to give up draft assets if he doesn't have to, and obviously he does not have to in this case at this point in time. But I'm intrigued. Not going to, break the bank in draft compensation to get any of these 3 guys, but if I was going to pick one, it would be Darius Slayton. Bears fans, we continue our challenge of reaching 50,000 subscribers by training camp. We're about 7 weeks away, and, the things have slowed down. We're kind of the dead part of the offseason, but we're still bringing you videos every single day. Help us reach our goal of 50K subs by training camp. YouTube.com/BearsNow. Share that link with all your Bears buddies. I promise you we'll continue to keep you guys updated on the latest news and rumors regarding the Chicago Bears. All right, let's talk about another receiver. That, of course, is Will Fuller. NBC Sports Chicago says that the Bears should sign Fuller in free agency. Now, obviously, with Fuller, there comes risk, right? Because he has an injury history. But he's also a very intriguing player. I mean, when healthy, he's one of the better deep threats in the NFL. That is not hyperbole. He is really good at stretching corners and safeties out and taking the top off of defense, which just opens up a ton of things offensively. When he's right, he can be a legitimate number 2. The problem is he just has not been right nearly often enough. When he does play, he's been great. 15 yards a catch, 24 touchdowns, which over 55 games is pretty good. With over 3,100 yards on 213 catches. The problem is he's played in 55 games. He's also missed 41. I mean, you're talking about a guy that misses, 38, 40% of games. You do quick math on that, kind of plays like 10 games a year. So, on average, I think the most he's played was 13 or 14 in his rookie year, and I think he played 12 or 13 another time. Last year only played in 2, another year played in 10, another year played in 7. I mean, he's all over the map. You're not going to get 17 games out of him, but if you sign him to an incentive-type deal, get 10 to 12 games, he can be a guy who stretches the field. I might do it if it's cheap. I like Will Fuller. I think he fits Justin Fields' skill set very, very well. Again, it's risky because he's injured, but if it's a low contract, maybe it's not as risky as we think. What do you think? Is he worth it? Type S for sign that you would sign him. Type P for pass. You're in charge. You're Ryan Poles. Would you sign Will Fuller? Now, we told you off the top about call-in, and I want you guys to join the family at Bears Now on Call-In because it's like Twitter Spaces on crack, because you're able to call in and do all that stuff over there, but there's also a live chat component. Also, we publish the episodes afterwards as a podcast episode, so if you don't join us live, you can still listen. You guys get to call into me. We get to chop up some Bears football, the latest news and rumors, and you guys have the floor, and I get to chat with you guys directly. I love answering your questions on live shows on Tuesday here on YouTube. Don't get me wrong, but I want to hear from you guys directly, and that can happen at Call-In. Chatsports.com/BearsCall-In. Little incentive, too. If we get to 1,000 subscribers by football season, we're going to do some live post-game shows after our YouTube watch parties where you get to call in and hear directly from me. I get to hear from you. You get to sound off after Bears wins and losses. Join the movement, chatsports.com/BearsCall-In. There's also links in the description of this video to download the Call-In app on your phone or Android. iOS, Android, doesn't matter. It's available everywhere, so go check that out. All right, before we sign off on today's show, do have an updated outlook in terms of the Bears salary cap space. So we're talking about trading and signing, getting all these guys, and a lot of you guys, well, do they have money to do it? Yeah, they do, because Danny Trevathan and Tarik Cohen's post-June 1 cuts have cleared, which means the Bears now have over $22 million in cap space. They have money to make moves. They do. I expect a couple of more moves. Now, it may not be right away. I think they'll get through mandatory minicamp in mid-June, which is June 14th through 16th, I believe. And then Eberflus will sit down with his coaching staff, with Ryan Poles. They'll assess this roster, and then you could see a move or two. Maybe on the offensive line, maybe a receiver, maybe a linebacker, a defensive tackle. There's certainly some areas where you could add a body or two. These are some notable free agents that are still out there, and there's, of course, more than just these guys. A couple of left tackles, Eric Fisher, Dwayne Brown. I'd be interested if they don't feel good about Larry Borum there. Quentin Spain, I'd sign him today. I'd sign him a month ago. I'd sign him tomorrow. I think he'd plug in and be your starting right guard. Will Fuller, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham. I don't think you're getting OBJ, but those are some receivers still out there. Anthony Hitchens, Anthony Barr, if you want to add an off-ball linebacker. And then a couple of defensive tackles we talked about the other day, Larry Ogunjobi and Ndamukong Suh. And listen, those are all players at positions that you could certainly upgrade at. All right, with that being in mind, with the updated cap situation of over $22 million for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears, name a player that you think the Bears should go out and sign. Let us know down in the comment section. I'd like to get another off-ball linebacker like an Anthony Hitchens. If Larry Ogunjobi can pass a physical, I would like that. And I'd be open to, a receiver and definitely an offensive lineman as well. Quentin Spain would be great. Just sign him, play him at right guard, and you'll be at a good spot. So let us know who you think the Bears should go out and sign in free agency. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of Chicago Bears Now. Hope you guys enjoy your Friday and the rest of your weekend. We'll have more videos on Saturday and Sunday to keep you guys covered before we're back in the studio on Monday. Appreciate you guys for watching. Subscribe for more content, and we'll see you soon here on Bears Now.